So Dr. David Earle, who's come down with a wonderful group from Birmingham, who've come down for 2 hours drive to be here. So we really have to admire their passion and their enthusiasm. But please welcome Dr. David Earle, who's giving the next presentation. And has a lot of experience also with UPF, even before it started. So please welcome Dr. David Earle. Thank you.
So good afternoon, everybody. Fasten your seatbelts. I've got 15 to 20 minutes to get through 210 slides. No, I'm joking. It's all right. So we'll go through some of the activities of UPF from street level to government level, and you'll see something of how we try to put these principles into practice, especially bringing people together for practical projects or for conferences, get people to try and feel that we are one family in this room, on this project, and then do something for the public good, serving the greater purpose. And my experience, especially with young people and youth projects, is that magical things, unexplained, inexplicable things happen when you do that you just can't rationalize. Lifelong friendships are made that you wouldn't expect. Young people are de-radicalized. I've had that experience. And also, you get awards and recognition from even the highest level, which we didn't expect, whether it's the government of India or the King of the UK or wherever it is. So I'm just going to go through a few slides and you'll get hopefully a feeling, if you're not already aware, of the scope of our activities, both the scope and also the diversity which have enabled us to get general recognition, a general consultative status at the UN, which Robin will just mention briefly. You'll see some pictures of Father Moon and Mother Moon, in very distinguished company, but this is a more informal picture. I think it's from our theological seminary where Dr. David graduated from many years ago. And that's the founding of UPF 20 years ago. But I'll just discuss briefly the origins, going back in time. You may well know, if you've read the autobiography, as a peace-loving global citizen, that both Father and Mother Moon were born into a country which was occupied by a colonial power, Japan, sometimes a very ruthless authoritarian power, and then they experienced the end of the Second World War and then division, which has existed until today, and life as refugees. So even though this picture and others look very glossy, this is just to remind us. Robin will go over these. These are the areas of society where we invest ourselves, and we'll give you some examples of these. IAPD, the bottom one, Interreligious Association for Peace and Development, is the one that Patricia and myself have been most involved in, but Robin will just mention the other ones to do with media. And you may have seen these on the video if you were here at 10:11. These were covered in that first video. But I'll just go beyond those. So this is the map of Korea you're probably familiar with, divided at the 38th parallel. Both Father and Mother Moon were born not far from Pyongyang in the northwest of what is now North Korea. Father Moon experienced imprisonment a number of times, unjust imprisonment, most notably in the notorious Hungnam prison, to which he was committed by the then leader Kim Il-sung, and he was due to be executed and was liberated by UN forces the day before he was due to be executed. His number was already up. He managed to escape with some of the inmates, and after spending 40 days in Pyongyang, just trying to find those of his followers who were still there, then he had to flee to the south along with tens of thousands of other people. So he experienced what it means to be a refugee he knows that harsh reality. And he fled from the top to the bottom of Korea, all the way down to Busan, and there, this was the first building. So here we are in the ballroom of 43 Lancaster Gate. There are beautiful buildings in Korea, in our center in Chongpyeong, but this was the first building. And inside that building, built of mud and stones and ration boxes, he spoke to his followers about people coming to Korea in the future. Presidents and prime ministers and religious leaders. And could they believe that, do you think? In those circumstances, very difficult to believe. But here we are, 2020, many years later, and some of us in the room were at this gathering of 5,000–6,000 people from every corner of the earth, all quarters of society. It was the most incredible. But to think about the origins of our movement all those years ago in 1950, back in Busan, it's quite incredible to really think about that, the journey to this point. Just a short anecdote, I found myself sitting at a table at lunchtime in this gathering with an American congressman just sitting next to me. That was the kind of meeting it was. Just, we're all family. So I spoke to him about Birmingham, the number of mosques we have, the Muslim population. He could not get his head around Birmingham and our 25–27% Muslim population and all the friends we have. He just couldn't, it was incredible. So the early 70s, Father Moon went to America, believing that America had a key role in serving the world, that God had blessed America for the sake of humanity, for the sake of the world, to look beyond national self-interest to serve the world. And he spoke in many places. 1975 was a key year in our development. The theological seminary was established. Again, that's a picture explaining to some of the students how to fish. Many members went out to nations all over the world and laid the foundation which has developed until today. And this was when there was a threat from North Korea. Then Father Moon gathered together over 1 million people at Ueda Island. And fortunately, that attack never came. That's just a couple of pictures of the... and always he would argue against communist ideology, not against communist people, but against the ideology underlying communism. And I'll talk about that a bit in a minute in terms of the collapse of the Soviet Empire in 1989. A lot of humanitarian work, particularly in developing countries. This is Mother Moon in one of our projects in Africa. Education. This is a school in Korea where I think the Little Angels are based. Anybody seen the Little Angels perform? They're really incredible ambassadors for Korea. So beautiful to see them performing. A university, Sun Moon University. Academia, this is the Professors World Peace Academy. I think David mentioned in 1985, Father Moon was in Danbury, and he asked the professor in charge of PWPA to, at a gathering we had in Geneva, to announce the impending collapse of the Soviet Empire in 1985. And that professor struggled to do that because the meeting was being held, I think it was opposite the Russian embassy in Geneva. But 4 years later, the rest is history. When the Soviet Empire collapsed, then Father Moon asked a number of us, several hundred of us, to go into this former Soviet Empire, into Russia, and introduce these ideas to the Russian educational establishment. And Russia sent hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of their best teenage students to workshops that we held in the Crimea. The only place they could hold these workshops big enough were military bases in the Crimea. So I found myself on a naval base in the Crimea with hundreds of students, a lot of teachers who'd come with them. And the outcome of those meetings was, with the Ministry of Education, we developed a curriculum to teach these ideas for young people, character education, in Russian schools. They went into 10,000 schools. Can you imagine? In Russia, in the space of a couple of years. And then the hardliners came back, unfortunately with the collaboration a little bit of the Orthodox Church. We don't want any new ideas, and we were all basically kicked out and had to leave. If we'd been able to continue, I don't think we would have the situation we have today. African Summit in 2018 in Dakar, Senegal, beautiful country if you've never been there. We invited ministers of education from 40 or 50 countries from Africa to come and look at these character education curricula that we developed and see if they could be contextualized for their countries. And Nigeria was one of the countries, I think Robin will talk about that decided to take that up and bring students and especially trained teachers to deliver that character education so that, as I think maybe some of you, certainly in our group, we were discussing how to resolve current problems. Maybe it's difficult to tackle the existing problems, but certainly we need to educate our young people to develop good values in order to come into positions of responsibility in the future as leaders who have these ideas motivating them to take responsibility. This was the most amazing experience for me. One of the most incredible people I met there was Dr. Sakina Yakubi, a modern-day Mother Teresa within the world of Islam from Afghanistan. She's educated 14, 15 million young people, even under the noses of the Taliban, risking her life countless times. We gave her the Sunhak Peace Prize Award in 2017. And I met her in Senegal, and I said, can you come to Birmingham to speak at my wife's Women's Peace Group? She said, well, this was January. She said, well, in April, I happen to be coming to Oxford. So I said, well, it's a 1-hour drive. And I went and picked her up, and she spoke at our gathering to a couple of hundred people on one Sunday. Amazing person. That's me speaking with the Minister of Education from Nigeria, Deputy Minister from Lesotho. I had about an hour's notice to give that presentation in such a distinguished country. I was shaking. Media Association. We developed relationships with the media, and this actually provided a way in which Father Moon could go to, first of all, Russia, and then ultimately North Korea, because he wanted to try to embrace his brother, especially Kim Il-sung, the person who'd committed him to that death camp many years earlier. Before he died, he said, I want to embrace this person as if he were my brother. With David, you remember David's presentations of the Cain-Abel brothers reuniting with one another. So in 1990, Father Moon went to Russia and met with Gorbachev, and that was the beginning of our educational program, as I just talked about earlier, with young people. It's a wonderful program that can be contextualized for any different parts of the world, according to the different religions and cultures in any country. And in 1991, November, he risked his life, literally put his life on the line, and the 6 or 7 people who were with him, to go to North Korea in order to embrace his brother, his elder. He called him elder brother when he met him. But in order to meet him, he had to literally put his life on the line. When you go to North Korea, you're given a lecture on Juche ideology, if you're familiar with that. He had about a 1-hour lecture. And at the end of it, Father Moon said, can I say something? And he stood up and he critiqued Juche ideology for about an hour. And the people who were giving were just sitting there shaking because they knew that the great leader was watching. And they thought, and certainly the members who were with Father Moon thought, this is it, we're not going to get out of here alive. But that's what he felt he had to do. And Kim Il-sung was intrigued. How could such a person come to this country and say these things? I want to meet this person. It had the converse effect. So he was able to meet Kim Il-sung and embrace him and discuss projects on which they could work together, investing in North Korea, for this ultimate goal of peaceful reunification that our movement is still, UPF especially, is still working towards as a model for reconciliation within our world. We mentioned the Interreligious Association for Peace and Development and UPF. They had a number of forerunners. These are some of them. That's Father Moon meeting with the elder statesman of Syria, the Grand Mufti of Syria, back in 1990-91. And some of the quotations, I think, that Dr. David used come from this book. If you haven't seen this, it's worth having a look at it, because it exemplifies UPF. It's got the sacred text of all of our faith traditions, major and minor, together in one book. What all our faiths say about faith, what all our faiths say about love, what all our faiths say about good governance. And it kind of lifts them all up together. Advocacy, lifting all of our faiths up together. And that's, again, part of our work. It's why we meet together, that we can all somehow be part of this holy community and we all come up together, not one competing at the expense of another. So interfaith activities have always been an integral part of Father and Mother Moon's work. Particularly in the Middle East, where between 2003 and 2008, we had I don't know how many pilgrimages bringing interfaith people from all over the world as a force for goodness and peace. Robin may mention this afterwards. And we had the most amazing experiences. Again, just one anecdote. We wanted to walk from the Church of Holy Sepulchre to the Western Wall that you see there to Al-Aqsa Mosque. It was during the Second Intifada, 2003. There were still suicide bombs going off. It was still very tense. The Israeli security said, you can't do this in these circumstances, walking with this number of people through the narrow streets of Old Jerusalem. We did it. Why? Because the rabbis came to the fore in our group and negotiated with their own security to allow us to continue. Then we get into Al-Aqsa, the third most holy site of Islam, and our imams had made friends with the imams of Al-Aqsa, and we could all go into Al-Aqsa, Jews, Christians, Muslims, men, women, everybody. It was electrifying. Margaret was there. The imams were weeping because we can do together often what we can't do separately. Again, that's a reason for us to come together and then serve the public good. Dome of the Rock, incredible. Just to mention my wife's work with women, she took so many ladies to the Holy Land. This is just one group of, there were 16, and these were the Muslim ladies within our group. The night before we were due to travel, Jack Straw, the Home Secretary at that time, appeared on television and said, no British citizens should travel to Israel, because there was violence on the West Bank, particularly in Jericho, and people were being kidnapped. And the next morning, all 16 people were on that flight to Israel. They'd asked me, can you guarantee our safety? What would you say? Anyway, we went. There was a journalist on the plane, couldn't believe that Muslim women were coming to the Holy Land in those circumstances. These incredible experiences, life-changing experiences, amazing. And this is part of the work, a lot of the foundation for our work. We have a predominance of ladies here, I would say today. Often in our house, I'm a minority of one. Sometimes more than 100 ladies. It's a very interesting gender balance, very interesting experience. So in UPF, again, we emphasize the role of male and female. Men, we need both. We need both in order to bring peace. This aspect of parents, of family. And then in the Holy Land, we met incredible people. This is Bishop Ria. And we invited him to, he was at that time Bishop of Jerusalem and the Middle East Diocese. We invited him to come to the UK. He came to London, then he came to Birmingham. And we introduced him to religious leaders in our home. Not sure who that lady is serving the food over there, but... And then we took him to meet the Lord Mayor, the tallest Lord Mayor in Birmingham's history. And he invited him to speak to about 200 people in the council house so he could share his message of reconciliation. And we supported his work. We tried to twin Birmingham's Children's Hospital with the Children's Hospital in the West Bank in Bethlehem, but it got mired in politics. But we were able to meet the members of what was then the Bereaved Families Forum. Now it's called the Parents Circle and Families Forum. Jewish and Muslim, Israeli and Palestinians who've experienced the loss of an immediate relative. They lost a son or a daughter, a father, a mother, brother in the conflict, but they decided violence begets violence. Enough is enough, and they're working together. Can you imagine? 600 families, and they're working together. They go into schools, one Jewish and one Muslim, one Israeli, one Palestinian, and they speak together, having paid the ultimate price, yet we're here advocating and talking about peace. Very powerful. So we brought 2 of them to Birmingham. We'd like to do that again when things settle down in the Middle East. And they spoke in colleges, schools, synagogues, on the radio. Just incredible. You can only weep when you hear these. You have nothing to say when you hear these people speak. Incredible people. That gives hope. That really gives hope. And finally, at Al-Mahdi, the Al-Mahdi Institute in Birmingham, we gather together people. This originally was a Christian college. This was the Christian chapel. And in true Islamic tradition, they kept the architecture exactly the same and made it even more beautiful. So some of you will have been there. It's the most beautiful place to have interfaith worship. And the director of this institute is a globally minded, universally minded person, Sheikh Arif Abdul Hussein, amazing person. So they invite us to have our meetings there. So this is the Police Crime Commissioner, Simon Foster of the West Midlands, holds the police to account, and the Lord Mayor of Solihull from last year. So just to tell you that Simon Foster said when all the violence kicked off in the UK early last year in Southport and Manchester and some of our northern cities, it didn't take off in the West Midlands. And the Police Crime Commissioner felt a large part of the reason for that was because of all the work that's going on, which we do. And he wanted everybody to feel encouraged, whether it's individually, between churches and mosque communities, between faith leaders. Keep it up, he said. Keep it up. Because that's why I feel the violence didn't really take off in the West Midlands. Isn't that great to hear from somebody of his position? And in conclusion then, Mother Moon, now she's taken over the responsibility since 2012, and she's doing incredible things. So the Peace Prize I mentioned, Dr. Yakubi, and another doctor who works as a surgeon who works in situations of conflict. We try to give it's like our Nobel Peace Prize award to these amazing people. And it's also been received by Ban Ki-moon, Macky Sall, the president at that time of Senegal, and an amazing peace activist in the Middle East from the Lutheran Church, Munib Yunan. The Interfaith Peace Blessing, anybody know where that is? South Africa. It's in South Africa. I hope one time I can bring with us here for you to hear speak Sheikh Nuru Mohammed. He's a universally minded person. He comes from Ghana, but he spent 7 years in South Africa. It's a formative period in his life where he really experienced the value of interfaith and interfaith dialogue and action. So bringing together people of all faiths. This was in Niger, where we held the peace blessing, the President and Prime Minister of Niger. And this is our own little version in Birmingham, in a Unitarian church. So we've held the same interfaith peace blessing, bringing people together, sharing our common values, especially based on the family, marriage and family, and again, lifting everybody up in the process, this sense of holy community. So we've done it in churches, in mosques, in Hindu temples. We managed to do it in a Hindu temple, Arya Samaj, and Muslim brothers and sisters came into that Hindu temple because they don't have graphics on the wall, images or statues and so on. It's the more intellectual wing of Hinduism. We've got city councillors there, Muhammad Idris on the left, religious leaders from top to bottom of society all together. And this was in Albania with another hero, former President Alfred Moisiu on the left. Incredible elder statesman. He's really helping us a lot with our peace work in the Balkan region. And finally, I go back to World Summit, which you saw pictures of before, 2020. And we took a delegation. This is Sheikh Nuru on the right, together with a Christian minister from Rwanda, Malachi, Sikh, Muslim brothers and sisters. Again, I'm not sure who that intruder is in purple on the right. And finally, Robin and Margaret have done amazing work in Parliament over many years. The patron of our organisation between, I think, 2000 and 2010 or 12 was Lord Tarsem King from West Bromwich. I don't know if any of you from the West Midlands will know of him. He was a great elder statesman, amazing. But he was a family man. Rather than a second home in London, he would travel back to Birmingham every night to be with his wife. Can you imagine? Such an incredible guy. So he helped us to do a lot of our events in the UK Parliament. And this is one of the best, one of the first events, I think 2012, of human rights. And Robin and Margaret got a beautiful letter of support from Parliament. And again, from the House of Commons and House of Lords, working in partnership with them. Amazing. That's taking a group of people into Parliament. We even managed to sneak a guitar in and sing a song in Parliament at that time. I don't think you could do that now because of restrictions. And finally, this lady, she wanted to highlight incredible problem. Anybody have a mobile phone? Yeah. In the circuitry of your mobile phone is a mineral called coltan. So you can imagine it's big bucks. A lot of it is mined in East Congo. So many women and children, tens of thousands of women and young women and ladies have been raped to control the land where coltan is mined. And nobody was speaking about it. Charlotte wanted to speak about it. Her life was threatened. She fled to the UK. She spoke at Patricia's peace meeting. Robin and Margaret arranged for her to speak in Parliament. And then an MP was so moved, he said, you have to speak in the European Parliament. So because of our resources, from street level to government level, we could take her to the European Parliament, and she spoke about this issue. And for the first time, it began to gain public, incredible lady. That's her speaking in the UK and the European Parliament. One of the MEPs at that time was so moved, he said, I have to bring a motion in front of the European Parliament about this. And then things started to come into the public domain a little more. It came into the media. And William Hague and Angelina Jolie went to Congo. And of course, the problem is not solved, but it made a difference. So those are just some examples, again, as I say, from street level to government level. But I hope it gives you a feeling of UPF, and hopefully you can be involved in some of our activities, and Robin will talk a little bit about that. So thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you, David.
Just a moment.
Thank you, David. Actually, in the European Parliament, we had I think it was Skype then, a Skype connection to Goma. And we had someone who was on the ground speaking there. And it was quite an amazing event. At that time, it had become lunch, so the European Parliament translators had gone to lunch. So Keith Best, he took over translation from French to English. It was quite amazing. And anyway, there are many stories in our UPF work, and I'm so grateful to David for all he's talked about. And David, Hannah, and Patricia. So Lord King was amazing. Such a great person. Father Moon really loved his name, Lord and King. And he gave the eulogy, or he was one of the people who gave the eulogy at Father Moon's, we call it sungwa, or funeral. So, with Alfred Musu, yes. So, you've heard about all these great ideas. How can you be involved, or how could you take part in this? You've met some of the trustees. Ian is still there, and Sima is a trustee, and David and Patricia are running activities in Birmingham, and Actor's a trustee, and many times she's been helping us with fundraising and so on. But there are many other ways that you could be involved. How do we do this? So here's Ban Ki-moon, the former UN Secretary General. He talks about UPF having this, basically calling it a cornerstone to build lasting peace. Not because we're going to do everything, no way. But it's a kind of a model of including all types of people from all sectors of society. And when we look at it, these associations that David mentioned, I'll go into, include heads of state, former parliamentarians at the moment, religious leaders, media, academicians, youth, women, business, culture, all these areas. Do you know, if there's a peace treaty signed Usually it's a huge effort to make a peace. All the negotiations, all the track 2 diplomacy that goes on, that's a huge effort. But it's not just politicians. The politicians will go there and they'll be the ones who do the final signing. But who's going to do all the trust building, the healing, the grief, the trauma, the bitterness, the people who have lost someone? Who's going to do that? You know, the politicians can do something, but we're going to need religious leaders. You're going to need youth groups coming together. You're going to need women's groups coming together. You're going to need businesses to make the equalization. Like in Northern Ireland, there was a big disparity between Catholic and Protestant incomes, which is one of the reasons of the bitterness and the conflict. But through equalizing that, it made the grounds for peace to be signed. So we need all of these areas. So currently in UPF-UK, these are our association chairs. So David and Patricia are working with religious leaders. Costas is working with business. On October 22nd, we'll have an event here about business, about blockchain governance, and about cybersecurity, etc. Mark is working with former heads of state and current heads of state, and so on. And Keith is working with parliamentarians, and as well as Shraf is an academic who's helping us in that area. Sangeeta, on November 11th, we have an event, another cultural event. And Hira is working with media. So on Tuesday, we had a media event. Ian spoke very well. And also we had 2 people from the religious freedom world who are also journalists and could give some expertise from their studies and their life. So each of these areas needs help. If you're passionate about one of these areas, you could be involved in that. So this is one thing that we did, was working with the former EU commissioners, or these we all had connections with through various branches of UPF in different parts of Europe. And Rita Payne is a former BBC editor of the Asia until she retired. We also have this Parliamentarians for Peace. This is an event. We actually launched Parliamentarians for Peace for Europe in the UK Parliament, here in Committee Room 14. So here's Mother Moon speaking in Parliament. This is an interfaith event. These are the different areas we did. And here is Tuesday with Ian and Hira and Peter. And Marco Respinti, who I didn't know, but works for a wonderful magazine or organization called Bitter Winter, which talks about all the religious freedom issues. He started saying, he says, maybe Christianity is one of the largest religions. It might be the largest religion, but it's also the most persecuted religion in the world. So this is a cultural event that we've had. We'll have our 3rd one on November 11th. This is one of our academic conferences. We often have conferences about how to work with the Korean Peninsula, and particularly bring peace to the Korean Peninsula. What is Europe's role in this? And we can see if we don't solve that problem, it will get worse and worse. This is one of the business ones we had, looking at business and well-being, mental health, etc. We have a social media. So if anyone wants to get involved with our social media, just scan our QR code and like our Facebook page, and we'll be connected. You'll get all our invitations through that as well. But recently we had this 100-day campaign leading up to International Peace Day each of those areas we post on, but we did a lot of posts about United Nations days. And some of them I hadn't heard of, like the Day for South-South or Global South-South Cooperation, which is very important because of the disparity of wealth between North and South countries. Also, looking at different areas here, we have a partner of particularly two environmental organizations. One is Earth and I, which has a magazine it brings out from time to time. And the other is Clean Cyclers. They're very much involved in tree planting and talking about how to recycle in a sustainable way. But in this way, we can form partnerships also with other groups, particularly if they have expertise in areas we don't. And it really helps us to cover a large range of areas. One way you can be involved, other than also together with the associations, is by becoming an ambassador for peace. In a few minutes, we'll have an ambassador for peace appointment ceremony here. But on our website, you'll see also the criteria for ambassadors for peace and how to become an ambassador for peace. These are some of the projects we've done, which is Nigeria Character Education. Someone came to us and said, we're the Nigerian branch of UPF, and we want to get character education in every school in every part of Nigeria. So can you help us? And we had a number of fundraising activities. We haven't had to raise too much money, but we've sent about £5,000 to support some of their, particularly training teachers or training trainers who train teachers. Now they've got a pilot study done in the FCT, the Federal Capital Territory schools. And they've also now training teachers in Imo State because the Imo State governor wants it to be in Imo State. So they're in the process of getting all the teachers who will be responsible to teach it in schools in Imo State to go, to get ready and get going. These are Young Achiever Awards. So awarding in Parliament, normally these young people are nominated by Ambassadors for Peace. Through our Ambassador for Peace network, then we find out what work they've been doing. Many of them have done charitable activities in their area for their local community. Some did it for a school when they went to Africa. For I think there's Africa Ventures and Africa. There's different groups that go out to Africa, and they got really attached to a particular school in Africa or a particular area, and they've continued fundraising or sending materials. So there's so many different stories. There are lawyers who have gone to various schools, telling students when they're choosing their career, look, I'm from the same community as you. If I can do it, you can do it. And raising their level of aspiration. So there's so many stories of how it's done and what the young people have been doing. They have been selected, particularly, I think, Lorna here? Lorna, who's helping Margaret. Margaret's been pioneering this, I think, for the last 12, 15 years. But getting the testimonies, the biographies of these young people, choosing the ones who've done great things, and then inviting their constituency MP to come and make the presentation. And then they speak in front of a room with their family there, their friends. And then we like to make an alumni of these young people and make projects with them. So we will have one meeting a month for the next few months to work out these projects. I know Eva is working on this project. Does everyone know Eva? Can you put up your hand? So Eva is working with our team at the moment and inheriting a lot of what Margaret's been doing. So goal is to gradually, I think, take over all these projects that Margaret's been doing for a long time. And then Margaret can not feel so much burden, but do it bit by bit, you know, and be attend things rather than run them. And I think she can have somewhat more rest. But she's been putting her energy into this area for a long time. Another area that particularly Margaret and many others, I think, Dr. Simon Nayaz and Duchess, and many others have been really supporting this work of elimination of violence against women and girls. And Simon, she had an event a year ago in October, wasn't it? Well, how far have we got, you know, in eliminating violence against women and girls? So that was a very moving and very sometimes heart-rending kind of conference when people were sharing some of the suffering stories. But also, there's a group of men, call them MAGE, men, Men's Association for Gender Equality. And Jeremy Blaine, he's heading that up. But they were attending this, and then Baroness Burma really likes this. So you'll hear, if you attend in Parliament on November 25th, you will hear about it. And I think there may be a larger event beforehand. And this group, I know Saima and the Duchess, Margaret and Eva and Lorna, and others have been very much involved. I think Shabnam, I've heard, I don't know you so well, but also I've been very much involved in this. I'm usually the doorman. So I stay downstairs, I open the door. But I think this will be a project that will be taken forward on a larger scale. We have a gala dinner coming up for our 20th anniversary celebration. If any of you want to take one of these, you can see the founding speech of UPF that was given all around, and all the heads of state and the meetings that happened in the beginning of this. So this is 20 years old. So here we have how to get involved. If you want to register, you just need to scan the QR code there. But you can help us run different organizations. You can help us with fundraising. You can help us in the office just to plan or to work and to develop any of the different associations that we have. So if you want to volunteer, also we've had interns from time to time who have come and use their experience as an intern for future references, for their job applications later. So these are many different ways that you can be involved in our UPF activity. You can also become a monthly donor if you want to help us, because by becoming a monthly donor, we can do much more together. So again, if you want to scan the code, you can. We have a lot of different projects going on, and quite naturally, the more we can raise money and build our capacity, the more we can do, the more we can develop our activities on a regular basis. Many times, I feel like I'm doing too many things. So I've very much been involved in this 100-day campaign for the UN. And every couple of days, the international UPF, they would send a statement on this or a statement on that. We put it up, and then we would put it on Twitter or X. We would put it on LinkedIn. and then we would put it on Facebook. And we have about 200,000 followers on Facebook. So we're trying to build these up, each one of them. And through the 100 days then, actually, the followers of each of these grew. We'd also, Ernst, who was our social media officer, he was giving tutorials on how to develop Facebook to different groups around the world. So there's a lot we can do, but if there's some things I can delegate to others, that would be great. Or else I'll be like a person with many different hats, one on top of the other. But it's important to be able to keep many things going at the same time. Anyway. Thank you very much. I'd like to now turn to the Ambassador for Peace ceremony. Actually, Eva, I don't think we have. Could you bring up the certificates, please? Thank you. Sorry. So, the Ambassador for Peace network was started by Father and Mother Moon back in, I think, 1999, when we had the beginning of the preceding organization to UPF called the Interreligious International Federation for World Peace. That name was far too long. Some people used to come up onto the stage and they'd say, and I want to thank the Interreligious Robin, help me out. So we were very happy when it became Universal Peace Federation. One thing, it's very clear. As Ian was saying earlier, less is more, right? So Ambassador for Peace Network started with the IIFWP, this preceding organization. Thank you. And it was a great initiative, and is a great initiative of coalescing a network of people who have idealistic intent and who have the desire to make the world a better place in many different ways. So around the world over the last 25 years, we've been making appointments of ambassadors for peace to people who are amazing. And that network is really like the lifeblood of UPF. Because many times, they have expertise in areas that we don't. They know many other areas. So we're often collaborating with our ambassadors for peace to run associations, to hold different events, to speak about things that they know very well, to nominate young achievers, right?
Yes.
So our Ambassador for Peace Network is amazing strength. Would you like to?
Yeah.
Yep.
These four ladies, there's no man. Why?
Next time.
Put your hands out if you want Ambassador for Peace man. Okay, these are four amazing women. And I know them quite well. We know them quite well. This is the first lady is Stella Okeke. Stella Okeke. Stella Okeke. I can actually talk a lot about her, but I cannot because it's short time. She's the African Family Support Foundation, committed to establishing stronger family bonds, and she has experience at empowering and developing communities in Nigeria and in England. But there's a lot more to say about her, that we will get to know you by your works, by helping UPF, by helping other people. You have so many outlets that we are very pleased to give you the award. Can I ask you to come? Yeah, you're our patron and ambassador for peace, and also David, would you like to come? Okay. And I will give it to you. Yeah, or to Robin. Here, give it to her. Give to Mrs. Okeke.
Okay.
All right, that's good. And then pictures this way. You have to give her.
Wonderful.
And
I'm just going to go.
okay. Yay. Yeah. Me too. This. Oh, can you say one or two words?
Well, 2 words for Stella. Okay, I'll manage. What can I say? We've already had all the lectures, all the presentations, and everything which point towards peace. And the peace, as I said again, begins from home. And peace, I believe in the 3 principles of peace, which starts from individual, family, and then universal. So I'm quite honored and appreciate that we carry on working towards peace for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The next lady is also ambassador. It's Lady Jane Azulu. Lady Jane Azulu has written a long thing, and I'm going to make it short. She's a very dynamic and multifaceted leader in philanthropy, community activity, advocacy, and social development. She is the founder and CEO of Women Empowerment at Youth Transformation, a non-profit organization that has supported hundreds of women, children, and youth from across Africa to the United Kingdom.
One looking at me.
Is that enough?
1, 2, 3.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So, yes, I'm delighted to and honored to be an ambassador for peace. I've always advocated for growth in and to help people, especially women and youths, challenges they face, day-to-day challenges, both here in Africa. And I'm excited to continue this journey. Yes, peace is important for us all to thrive. And I believe that by what we heard today, loving each other, loving ourselves first and loving our neighbor. And so this is going to be my, my preaching. So, and I encourage everyone to do the same. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, now we have our lovely lady, Nelly Stefanova, to come forward. She's done a lot. Again, I cannot do a lot. Here, she can say whatever I miss. Please come up from here. Yeah. Nelly Stefanova has international Children's Peace Network, which started in her country, Bulgaria, a long time ago. And it is now here, also in England, and that she is also a supporter of UPF, twice president of Rotary Club. I can't understand which one is it. Greenwich Fellow of Paul Harris. Yeah. But then she's done a lot of things for us as well. She also helps us a lot, as will others do, and that we feel that we are a family with these four ladies.
I can hear for me.
1, 2, 3. Move like this.
Thank you. Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Do you want to say a word? Thank you. You want to say some words? Something more than
Yes, as Margaret said, I can talk a lot, but I'll be very brief. Yeah.
Online people having
Yes. I'm so humbled, I'm so privileged to receive this special recognition, which I accept not only for myself, but also for our organization, which is Community Interest Company, International Children's Peace Network. And peace is my passion, lifelong passion, from my native Bulgaria, organizing International Children's Peace Assembly. Now it's our pleasure that we've succeeded to launch here a pilot project in London. And people say that it was a success, as we had the peace debate for children at House of Lords. And I thought in the group that I was amazed how our children are outgrown us and are talking even better than the adults. Then we have another event when children had another mini peace event, and one of the child talked so much that he even had a standing ovation, which is great. Every little helps, as people say, maybe cliche, but true. So, peace, and peace. For me, it is life for us, and I'm privileged to work together with UPF, which for more than a year I have the pleasure to attend almost all the events. Thanks to Margaret and Robin, this is my pleasure. So I'm looking forward to work with you, and anything I'll be able to experience, any skills, I'll admit. So peace is with me, peace with you.
Thank you. Thank you. Last but not least. No, it's Nelly's. Oh, Nelly, it's Nelly. That's one. Okay. Last but not least is my beautiful, loving friend. What is her name? Julie. Julie Dyer. My goodness, I can't see what I'm saying. I'm not understanding this, Robin. No, she's a lawyer, an activist for positive change. She's also a talented vocalist and songwriter. Say this. What's this?
Member of the Women Supporting Women group.
Oh, she's a member of Women Supporting Women group.
Songwriter, yes.
And then she's not only that. For me, she's a beautiful heart and kind. You know, can invite anybody to UPF, whenever she thinks this is the right person. I think she's really good UPF person. So this is very important for you. You've got another award. They got an award for the family last time, you know. Their family.
Thank you.
Here you are, darling. Where is the... Yeah. Now, let's do.
So, can we look at her husband's camera?
Yes, yes. Her husband stayed all day. So good.
Thank you. Now, Rena.
1, 2, 3.
And one.
Thank you.
Greetings, and standing on existing protocol. It's with great pleasure and humility and joy that I receive this award. Thank you so much, Lady Margaret, Sir Robin. Thank you to the patrons, to the daughters, to all who are here. I'm really grateful. I dedicate this to you because I've learned and gleaned a lot from you about how to further peace in our local environment, how to reach out to our neighbors, people, invite them, and for them to learn and go out and be ambassadors, because it's not just the title, I feel, that makes you a peace ambassador, but what you do, how you live out your life, exemplary, to be a shining example, and how you try to resolve conflict when there's one, is what really makes you a peace ambassador. Peace is a worthy cause, and I'm glad to be part of this. I'm really grateful for this federation. Blessed be the memory of Father Moon, and I pray one day I'll meet Mother Moon.
Of course.
Yes, and all those who have made this place what it is today. God bless the Universal Peace Federation, and I promise to continue to serve and to play, because we do have a lot of good fun here as well. Yeah, and eat well. Thank you. Oh, can I just dedicate also to my father, who's a very peaceful man, my dad, Chief Tom Abigo, my late mom. They're known to have open doors. Their house is a house people always, we grew up in a home, people could just come in and out, eat. And also my husband, who is very gentle and honestly a very peaceful man. So thank you so much.
For those of you who don't know this lady, she's our patron, and her name is Simon. What is her name? Yes. Simon Mia. And she's our patron. Is also she's psychologist and
consultant psychiatrist.
Oh, it's better.
No. Thanks to Margaret and Robin and Dr. David Hanna and to the UPF and all members and also communities. I'm Dr. Simon Yaz. I'm a consultant psychiatrist. I'm also chair of the Royal College of Psychiatrists. It's Transcultural Psychiatry Special Interest Group. And it's my honor to be first to know the Universal Peace Federation and then to become an ambassador of peace and patron of the Universal Peace Federation. I'm grateful to serve the organization that's working hard for the communities, for young people, women, and in so many agriculture, environment, art, media we have seen, and I will highly recommend to people to visit their website and know it themselves and get involved in their activities. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay, we're done.
If you want to use the step.
So, would Ian like to say something? Is there another patron who's here, or actor also as trustee? Just to finalize our day. What's the time? Oh, you got to come here. We got.
Bless you. That's how to make a
a reaction. That's how to stage capturing people's imaginations, knock the microphone over, talk about whatever I want to talk about. Very quickly, why did I join UPF? Why do I think nowadays it's such a great organisation? It's very simple. I look at all of you. You're intelligent, you're resourceful, you want to move for the best. That's UPF. I want to create a culture in this world now that changes. UPF changes. I want to see in this world where all communities come together. All communities are respected. That's UPF. So today, when we're talking about come and join UPF, you're joining a family, you're joining a movement, you're joining an action group that will actually change this world. Amen. That's what UPF is all about. And the reality with UPF as well, it's not London, it's not Britain, it's the world. And when you are actually wanting to change this world, all of us want to change this world, that's why we're here. We want peace. At the moment, you know, tomorrow I'm hearing what may be happening in the Middle East, and it's devastating. How do we change things like that? How do we move things forward? We move things forward through organizations like this who will strategize everything that is necessary to change leaders' minds. In reality, we are the leaders in this world. And how you change this world is joining an organization like this. I'm very passionate about UPF. Goodness knows how I became a patron, you know. That was more of a, perhaps it was an interesting thought anyway. And I think the reality in life now is if you want change, if you want visibility, if you want to really do something, come and join us. We're a family. We're a great family to sort of know. And give us all each other a clap, because I think we are great. Oh,
you okay? Are you okay?
Just a quick word, as the time is running out. I had a dream without even I know such an organization exists. Always wanted and wished to be a peace ambassador, to serve people, and to actually is something that you be proud of and you want to be part of. So I was delighted and I was honored when I was given Peace Ambassador Award. And thank you so much, I appreciate that. Since then, I felt in my duty to do something, either fundraising or either any activities with youth, to be part of it and make sure that we take something on board to support and to help. So there's nothing much more I want to say. Apart from that, I'm delighted also to be one of the trustees as well. And that is another responsibility, is that you have to make sure that everything that the organization does it properly and keep up with their promises, and it is what it is. It says Universal Peace Federation. So thank you to all the peace ambassadors. Let's be active. Let's follow something that can help and bring some more people to our establishment, so make us bigger and make sure that anything we do is effective and also spread nationwide, not only just locally. Obviously, we are all over the world as well, and I am really pleased to be part of it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So I'm mindful about time, and I'm very grateful we've had a long day which has been rich with insights, wonderful people, wonderful food, right? Let's have a warm round of applause for all the people involved in that. Thank you. Have a safe journey home. You've heard about our gala dinner on November 15th. We'll be sending out invitations very soon. The next event is I think the ladies are meeting next Thursday. And on the 14th, we'll have a simple introduction to UPF in the evening. But after that is October 22nd, we have the Business for Peace, since I'll make it short, which is looking at blockchain, cybersecurity, use of AI. So, gala dinner is November 15th, yes. And it's in the London Kensington Hilton Hotel. Thank you very much. Have a safe journey home. Sorry, no, Lorna's telling me something. Have I missed something? Okay. Okay. So we'll be sending out the invitations for the gala dinner, and you can get tickets from through Eventbrite or from our bank. Yes. But please join us to commemorate the 20 years of UPF, which is wonderful. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a safe journey home. Do you want a group photo?
It's a group photo. No, sorry, I forgot to mention who brought me here is Tama. Tama is there. She's the one that brought me to UPF. And also to my family, my son and the wife, my sister-in-law, brother-in-laws. Forgot to thank them. Thought to say thank you.
Please come up for a group photo. And before you leave, take one chair to the back and stack it.